I have a bunch of wall framing. I have my pack, I have some Tyvek, and I took everything down except this sleigh of wood. I kind of slid this wood down where the stairs are there, like just down the bank there. And some of it started breaking and splitting and getting in worse shape than it already is. It's not the best quality of wood. So I kind of feel like, aside from doing armfuls and making, I guess I could, if this doesn't work, what I'm going to end up doing is just taking it down in armful bundles. And I wonder if it wouldn't work better if I was on the downside of the sleigh rather than up. And that way I can just kind of sit and guide it. It's not near as heavy as the other pile of wood was. Like it's not bad. I think it's manageable. So I will let you know how it goes. And if I have to abort and change plans, then that's what I'll do. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I got down to here and yeah, no. Just sort of asking for an injury, which I don't need. And just for fun. We need to have a little fun around here too. I'm just gonna let the sleigh go. And let's see what it does. Oh, I wanted it to go all the way down there. I am down. I have all of the stuff down that I was bringing down today. I have all the framing for the walls, which aren't structural. It's just to adhere the siding to. I already straightened this out, made it more plumb because it was kind of leaning out a little bit too much. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think I cut those beams long enough, and I think it would just look so much better if they were longer, and it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna go find a couple of trees that are already down. I've kind of been looking around and go get those. All of this stuff is gonna get used regardless, either in the cabin or in the shed or in the outhouse I'm gonna build. So not wasted work, not wasted time, just changing course as I go along. So I'm gonna go get some beams and get started. I think it's around 1 o'clock. Took me a couple hours to get everything down. Yeah, it's 20 after 1, quarter after 1. So that is an 8-foot cut, and it definitely looks a lot better to me. The problem is that log is a little bit rotten, so I am hesitant to use it. It's not super far gone, but it's definitely sticky on the outside, like soft on the outside. But I'm gonna go look around and see what else I can find laying around. There's not a lot of options for stuff that's on the ground. Either it's not the right diameter or it's not long enough. It's not 8 feet. So I'm gonna cut 1 or 2 dead standing trees down and use those. There's a lot of skinny little ones which I'll use for the rafters that are laying around. I don't think I can see anything, so. I'm not convinced that there's a whole lot of benefit of me telling you how I'm doing this. because I know that there's probably such a better way to do it. I have where I've marked the width of the post. So this is where I'm going to notch out. And I ran a level line on the end of the post to reference so that this is level on the deck. And then I've just taken the level and I'm putting it on here and making a level line from this point to this point. And it comes in like that because it's higher right here. So I'll see. I don't know. I just make these things up as I go. First side doesn't fit that great, but I'm going to leave it because it needs to stay high. If I take any more off here, then the whole beam will be a little bit too low on the left side. So it's okay as long as it sits on there. This side came out better. I think the post is cut crooked. But anyway, that one's pretty good. Borrowed Sean's glasses. Now I will mark these ones out and cut, chisel, and repeat. And I'm not going home tonight. Guess where I'm going to stay? I'm going to stay in the cabin. And probably some of you were wondering why I wasn't thinking to stay in the cabin before. And the reason for that is that normally at this time of year there's too much snow on the road and you can't drive down. And I'm not hiking down in the snow either. It would just be too... I'm just not into it. Too challenging. But there is road maintenance going on this year, so the road, I am told, is drivable. Now, I haven't seen it myself, but that is what I'm told. So I am hoping that it's good for me to drive down. So luckily today too, I didn't say, like, it's pretty warm. It's like +1 Celsius and there's no wind. So it's been really nice to work in this today. Hopefully it's like this tomorrow too. And I should be able to put in a really long day tomorrow, because I imagine it would take me half an hour to drive here rather than 2 hours. So that's a bonus. I might have to hike in a little bit to the cabin, like maybe 10 minutes, but that's reasonable. Now I need to take less off this side. So I'm just gonna start out with just a little bit. Holy smokes, that isn't really good. I gotta pinch myself. It honestly couldn't be more perfect. Another thing, another little secret. I've been really thinking about the whole idea about making this into something that I can sleep in while I come out here and continue to work on things, like building a little outhouse. And then for when I start the cabin. So I think it's kind of created an itch I want to scratch. And I think I'm going to do it. It wouldn't take much to switch it back to a little storage shed and then a little wood shed. I kind of want to challenge myself. I would think about doing something like this, but most times I would bail out because it's a bit uncomfortable. And why would I stay and sleep in this when I can go home, or I can go down to the cabin and sleep in a warm, comfortable bed, because if I'm being completely honest, I'm slightly a bit of a princess in the pea when it comes to my sleep, because I don't sleep very well a lot of the time. But what's life if we don't challenge ourselves? And I think it would be pretty cool to go to sleep here and wake up in the morning here and kind of see what it would be like. And yeah, I kind of love the, the bushcraft survival aspect of it. And yeah, like it's an itch I feel like I need to scratch in life. And maybe I got to toughen up a little. Now what I'm going to do is take these. So this is where another post is going to go, and another one at the back. So eventually, like I said, this little space will be the storage shed area, and this will be the wood shed. I would just have to switch the walls out. This is what I need to do next. Mark out where I need to cut. I think I'll cut a little notch out on the beam again, like there, just so that it sits on something flat. Then sort of start to pack up and get ready to go, because if I have to hike into the cabin a bit, I don't want to be doing it in the pitch dark, and I got to give myself time to get down there because I don't know what it's like, and of course get a fire going and stuff. So I actually think I might call it a day here pretty quick. Yeah. And we'll be back up in the morning, but I'll take you to the cabin too. Guys, look at how nice it is over there. I got up here, it's about 9:30. I wish I got here a little bit earlier, but that's been the story of my life. Last night at the cabin was good. It's a little bit debatable whether it was any more efficient for me to stay there rather than going home, just different. Of course, it's not as much driving, but it was more physical work to stay at the cabin because I did have to hike in. I wasn't able to drive all the way to the cabin. I did have to hike about 15 minutes. So just physical work to get water. I had to go down to the lake to get water to do any dishes or anything, have any water for coffee and that sort of thing. So it's just different because of course the cabin doesn't have any amenities right now because it's closed up for winter. So certainly nice to stay there anyway because it's just a magical place and I had a good sleep. I brought a window with me. I got this window for free. I just kind of cleaned it up and painted it for the shed. Okay, so I'm just gonna get set up and get going, and I can spend a full day, go all day as long as I can today. It's nice. It's not too cold. I think it's like 1 or 2 degrees and it's not windy so far, so I'm super pumped. I have a plumb bob at home that I bought a while ago, but it's at home and it's still in the package. I want to just figure out, I just kind of made one with a rock and some string. Just trying to figure out where I want to make a little notch in this beam for a post to go here. So I've kind of figured out where I have my center point and I will work off of the center point there out. By George, that just might be right. Woohoo! Okay, plumb this way. But this way it's not. And it's sort of like this, like leaning in. So I have it now where it's relatively plumb considering a round log, but it's sticking out too far. So I need to take more off of down here. Perfect. Perfect. I like it. My little home. Okay, I gotta make a ladder. I'm a little bit nervous about how this hammering is gonna go in. Ugh. I might temporarily just throw a few screws in to hold it in place while I'm hammering, because there's gonna be a lot of movement. I'm gonna secure all this front stuff now and then work on the back, but I don't have a step ladder. I can barely reach up top, and so I'm gonna mark where I need to pre-drill, and of course I forgot drill bits. I have this, I found this in the bin, just to allow the nail to go in easier. And of course these nails are barely long enough, but it's all I've got, so it's gonna have to do. I'll just put a couple in, I guess. So I'm gonna take the beam down, pre-drill some holes, and then figure out how I can get up high enough in order to hammer these nails in. And then I actually don't have like a regular drill. I only have the impact drill. So I don't know if that drill bit is supposed to go in there. I just don't think so. Nope, it's not. Oh, alternatively, I could screw some screws in, take them out, and then that's kind of pre-drilling. Now getting to the other side. Where's my ladder? My ladder that I made, very high quality, is somewhere in that mess. Okay, if I was actually going to make this into like a little house, this is where the door would be. I would come in here through this little space, come in through the door. I would put my boots and my coat here. And then I would have the living room here, living room and a little kitchenette, and then a little sleeping loft. Of course, the bathroom would still have to be outside, not enough room. Here's my ladder. Oh, done. Backside now. I did tack screws in to keep it all in place. And that's how it's done, donkey. There was a tree laying there. I cut it to, I think, get it out of my way. And I just took the bark off, the majority of it. I just want to see what I need for length. And the rafters, pretty long. It probably doesn't need to be that long. There is this thing. I'm gonna go down off camera just to save time, but that's the one I'm gonna go get. Ouch. I think this is like kind of the area where the outhouse should go. This is Michelle's other village. I think I decided I'm going to put 5 rafters in rather than 4, so I'm doing an extra one. My knees hurt. Oh, hour and a half, Michelle. You can do it. You can do it. Now, would they go to the end? The only reason I'm not doing that is because I'm closing this in. I don't know if you're supposed to have, it looks better on the outside. Yeah, I think it looks better that way, but I think in order for me to I gotta think about it. If I'm gonna close the walls in, I think they have to be along the post. I'll think about it. I was determined to try this little, I made this little bushcraft thing out of a can. I think the can is too big. It's having a hard, and it doesn't have enough airflow, but I brought soup, but I needed to boil water to make soup. So I was determined to have some soup out here, some noodles. And while I clean up, you know, take a break. Hey guys, I am out for this extra day to do a little bit more work before I end the 3rd video. I am just making the little notches in the rafters so that they sit on the beams a little bit better. So that's what I'm doing now, just plugging away at that. And one thing I noticed as soon as I got down here was this post, which I had corrected before because it was leaning out a little bit. I pushed it back over and then re-secured it. But I'm assuming as I was hammering the beam onto the post, it ended up pushing it back out pretty much to where it was before. So I can't really, I'm not gonna fix it. I'm sure you could, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna have to accept my mistake. What I should have done and what you should do is brace it before you start going up and hammering and doing a bunch of things to cause movement to all the parts that aren't really fully secure yet. So I should have done that. Anyway, lesson learned again. And yeah. I'll just show you a couple of the ones that I'm going to do, and then I brought some drill bits out so I can actually properly pre-drill some holes into the rafters and then just put 1 nail in each end. Okay, all right. So there's my little rough outline of what I'm going to cut out. I'm using the string to gauge kind of how much I need to take off. That's why I only needed to take a little bit off of this one. Please fit. It's the worst one. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I just did a whole lot of fiddling around. I had to take them off and trim some more or shave away some more at some. And anyway, I'm going to accept it the way that it is. It's pretty decent. And I was so proud of myself because I brought the drill bits to pre-drill some holes before I nail. And then I realized I don't have that drill out here. I have the impact drill, but I still don't have the other drill. Stupid. It's like the most frustrating thing about being out here is it's like, oh, I can't just go grab it because. So I'm gonna have to do what I did before, pre-drill with some screw holes, like put the screw in and take it out. I might throw up a little bit of bracing with some scrap material just because I'm gonna be hammering away. Let's just say I hired a ferry to come and cut those front ones, which is why they're not very good. Don't ever hire a ferry. It was a little bit awkward. Now, roof board time. Yay! Looking pretty good. I am gonna end up trimming the beams a little bit. I think I should probably do that now. I quickly realized I don't have enough wood for the roof. I was just kind of hopeful that it would be enough, but I don't think it is unless it's really sparse. To make it look nice, you'd have them all butted up like together. I could do what I did in the pole barn shed at home, which is just there's large gaps in between the pieces of wood. 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. You know, I could always go by a little bit, 1/2 inch, 7/8. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this. Just depends on the look I want. You know, how scrappy I want it to look. So can't do the roof. I was wanting to do the roof first, and then do the walls. But there are two ways to go about putting walls in here. Make the little wall on the deck and then put it up, or piece it together. I think I'm going to piece it together because the wood is round and it just might be a little bit easier for me to do it that way. It's like 4 o'clock. I'm just going to spend half an hour and just make the cuts. Every little bit of time is valuable, so I may as well take advantage of this time. I think what I'm going to do is I've got a bunch of tongue and groove boards at the cabin down below. At some point, maybe next week or whatever, I'll go get all that stuff and lovingly bring it down. Steve was out today measuring for the Sky Mule to see how much we need, like how much cable. Yeah, he couldn't believe I'm kind of doing this in these conditions. Kind of funny. This is all cut. This is all these junk pieces of wood from home. They're all cut on the table saw 2 inches by whatever the thickness they were, and the thickness is all varied. Oh, this is going to be a nice little home. I'm admittedly like kind of getting really excited about having a sleepover, having a few sleepovers in this. Yeah, so that officially, I guess, will be it for this video. And are you guys as excited as me to come with me on a sleepover in this thing? You know, it'd be nice to kind of like have like a fire in the evening and wake up in the morning here. It would be, yeah, really beautiful. Anyway, okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye.